Damn, it's been a while since I had to do a video without Noah. That's kind of tough, actually. But you know what, guys? This time, I'm happy about it. I'm so happy, in fact, that I might just have to hit the McGritty.
I say right foot.
McGriddle. McGriddle. That was cringy. However, at least I got to write off McDonald's as a business expense. Why is Noah gone? You may be asking yourself, and that's a fair question. Homie finally got the fuck out that shitty house he was living in. It's awesome and it's cool, and you guys will probably see it in some upcoming videos. Not on this channel, but maybe on one of the other two. So I'm happy because he's getting to a better place. Today, I'm going to be cleaning the carburetor out on one of the go-karts that we initially bought when we started this channel a long time ago. They've been sitting for about 3.5 years. I know I didn't drain the fuel out of the bowls or the tanks, so they're gonna need some pretty serious help. Because I am filming by myself, some of the camera angles won't be perfect. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Other than that, please enjoy me working on a go-kart. Exactly. Fuck. I got to write off McDonald's as a business expense. How fast does ice melt through ice? Let's time lapse and find out. Bill Nye the Science Guy. So I'm just gonna start by taking this little carby fella off. I gotta take off this hose clamp and then remove this cone filter we got on here. Oh, all right guys, next we're gonna take off these two, I think 10mm nuts that we got holding the throttle spacer or the intake spacer on. Now, if you have the original airbox, this situation's gonna be a little different for you. But on here, I have my little choke retainer, so I'm just gonna remove the choke as well. Now, this gasket we need to be really careful with because I want to reuse that. Make special note of the direction it's facing, and when you put it back on, make sure it's not covering any of these ports. Okay, twist your throttle here. You gotta maneuver your throttle cable back and up. So you can kind of pull the carb forward and then wiggle that out of place. This hose, in my case, it's been on here for a minute. So I'll try and break it loose by just twisting. There we go. You can either cram a bolt in the end or you can get a hose pincher. Got me some AutoZone hose pinchers here. I like to move the clamp first, then get my pincher on there. Pinch. That's pinched. Come on. Oh. Yeah, now if you don't have this pinch, that'll just be a free flow of fuel, and we don't want that. So now I have my carb off. Oh boy, here on my messy little bench, I got my friend. I don't think any fuel even entered the bowl because I think it's pretty gummed up. When I tried to start this thing with some starter fluid, it would run on the starter fluid for a second and then nothing. And this thing sat, like sat. See if I can crack it loose. Oh, that was in there, and there was some fuel in there. It's kind of yellow and green. I don't think that's how that's supposed to look. If it's been this long since you serviced this thing, I'm gonna be honest guys, probably a good chance you should just crack one or both of those loose before you loosen those two nuts on the carb. So that's a little 10mm. Set him off to the side. Get the rest of the shit out of here. Ew. So I'm gonna start trying to use a flathead to unscrew that piece in there. Oh shit, I know why it wasn't running. Right there, I was able to pop it loose. I was a little worried I wouldn't be able to. Oh boy, that's gummed up for sure. That's disgusting. Up in here is another piece that will get gummed up. Now, that's really the area that needs to be cleaned, along with maybe these two fuel ports here, because there's tiny little orifices that fuel is supposed to be squeezed through, and if they're plugged with this green gunky shit, your motor will never run. Get yourself some carb and choke cleaner, or just carburetor cleaner is fine. It's all kind of the same stuff, very similar to brake cleaner. I love to use the straw because that allows you to focus all the flow of this cleaner on this tiny little deal. Now, I prefer to use the pressure of the can center right through whatever end of the pipe the straw will fit in. Now, be careful, do not look behind it, because when you're cleaning it at first, it probably won't go through. It's gonna shoot backwards at you. Try and find something to cram through there. It's kind of hard to find stuff thin enough to go through there. If blasting compressed air or your carb cleaner through it doesn't work, sometimes, depending on the size of your orifice, you can use a clothespin. In my case, it's just the right size, and that shit was really stuck in there. So I'm gonna take a couple more passes. Then I'm gonna run my carb cleaner through it again. You can see right through it now. Carb cleaner, go straight through it. That's exactly what we want, okay? Now, another thing that likes to get clogged on these guys. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this entire little float assembly. So you're gonna pull this pin through right there, set that off to the side, and then remove your float. I had to get a pair of pliers on the tip of this pin here. Fucking yank out on that bitch. So, same process as before. Clean, clean, clean. Put some fluid in the hole. Look at that. It's fine. So clearly, this float pin is our issue. Now, there's a spring on here. So when you remove it from the float, be extremely careful that this spring does not get lost. Now we just cleaned this little needle up. Use my brush. Take care not to bend it when you do any of this. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. Clean it off. Carb cleaner on a rag. Give it a couple more wipes with my nail. Not perfect, but okay. Put the spring on, then reattach the float. Okay, back together again. I'm gonna see if this works, okay? Float on, pin in. I'm going to put cleaner in that hole we spoke about before. Yep, looks good. Okay, that will hopefully work well enough to fill the bowl so that we can get this sucker to run. So, as always, reassemble in the same order you took it apart in. Now, this faces the front, so I want my drain to be at the front. You can kind of pick which way you want your bowl oriented. It's not a bad idea. Okay, first things first. I want to make sure that I'm getting fuel in my bowl now that everything is open again, okay? Take my drain plug. Yes, there is fuel coming out. That means that my cleaning job was at least sufficient to fill it. We'll see if it continues to run or if I have to clean it further. Let's see if it works this time. It would appear that it worked. And I would assume that if the bowl was going to run out, it would have. Our little science experiment here has come out in one piece, so that's cool. And we're just left with water. God damn it. I barely fucking fit in that thing, man. I was smaller last time I drove that. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe we'll do some more go-karting. We're keeping them around, but we haven't really decided the future of them. We're not gonna get rid of them, but this one, I need to move the seat back somehow. Cause holy shit, bruh. I'm a big boy. Maybe this can just be Noah's. He's a little smaller than me. Mwah.